Hello, everyone. We've got a special guest here today sitting in my chair, if you can't tell. So, Callie's going to be running this podcast today, I think. I stepped away for a second, and now she's in the chair. So, Callie, what do you have to say to the people? Nothing. Okay. Any other words of wisdom? Oh, thank you for the kisses. You are listening to Phone Eats First. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Phone Eats First, a podcast about romanticizing life and finding inspiration inside and outside the kitchen. My name is Corey May, and if you were just watching on video, you see we have a very special guest today. Let's see if I can angle the camera without messing this up. Yes, we have the little perfect California cowgal, Callie, donut, bagel, turd, whatever you want to call her. She's here. I set up my chair like usual, and she got right in it. We're going with a live audience today, and I brought her a chair to sit right next to me because if you haven't had the pleasure of meeting Callie, you don't know that she's part human. And that's a really important piece of information about who she is, her character. It really just embodies all of her. I don't know what you would call a part pit bull, part human, but that is what she is. She sits at the table with me. She loves to sit on chairs. She also, it's kind of hard to explain, but she sits on her butt and is propped up like a human would be. And also when she's sitting on the floor, not laying down but sitting, her legs pop out to the side, so she's got like a very ladylike, polite little pose, and it's adorable. Anywho, welcome to episode 55 of Phone Eats First. It's been a minute, guys. I know, I'm sorry. I've been all over, per usual. That's just my life these days and these years and the upcoming weeks, so bear with me. Today's episode is all about my Q1 intentions because if you're new here, it's a new year. It is now officially 2025. And so if you are new to the podcast or just kind of forgot, every 3 months, I check in with myself, my listeners, whoever cares, but really just for myself. And I reflect and reshare my intentions for the upcoming quarter. And this all started because last year at the beginning of 2024, instead of setting resolutions for the year like everyone does, I kind of just realized that resolutions, I feel like just set myself up for failure because it's something that is so final. And if you don't do it to the fullest, or you mess up or miss a day or whatever it is based off the resolution, you're just kind of done for. And you're like, well, it was a resolution. I never really expected to achieve it or reach it or follow through with it. So I'm going with the word intention because an intention allows for flexibility. It allows for failure. It allows for changes and adaptations based on your needs. And also our goals just change throughout the year because that's normal and that's healthy, I would say. So I also go with a 3-month check-in because it's really hard to know what your goal is going to be next November, December. So every 3 months, you can have a more of a short-term plan, and your goals can stay the same throughout the year, obviously. And you can also skip a few quarters. You can just check in with yourself in 6 months or 9 months or whatever it is. But I like to do every 3 months because also as the seasons change, you're going to have some more goals or new goals or different goals. So long story short, here we are 1 year later with our Q1 intentions. But before I get into that, we're going to get into the weekly report. So our reading, I am still on the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. I am reading, not Heir of Fire. I was about to say Heir of Fire. I just finished Heir of Fire this week. I'm now on Assassin's Blade, which is the 4th book in the series. And if you know anything about it, it's where the main character, it's kind of the prequel, but you read it 4th because you need to understand who she is and what she does and why she's an assassin and kind of her background in order to care. Shout out Charlie Cash for giving me the order of how to read these. But so that is what I'm reading right now. It's very good. I'm eating a lot of beef and avocado these days, and I feel like a boss for doing that. I really do just feel my best when I'm eating red meat, fruit, whole natural food, healthy fat from avocado, just my normal things at home. Like this morning, I had steak and eggs. For lunch, I just had some ground beef. For dinner, I'm either going to have Mexican chicken, which I don't have often, but, I just need to mix it up a little, and I have the chicken defrosted. And then I'm also going to have more steak this weekend, and I'm loving it. Okay, plan. going to give you a little recap of what I've been doing because I've been all over it, feels like. And when I prepped this episode, it was over a week ago. So we're just going to catch you up. So I, for the last week, was in Chicago for like 2 days. Got to see some snow as I was taking off on the plane, and then went straight to Florida, both for work. Both were fun. A little bit of a variation in climate, and I did miss the North Carolina snow, which I'm a little sad about, but it might snow next week, so that's exciting. And so this weekend is my first full true weekend at home since I literally do not know when. Probably before December, which seems insane to say. I had one weekend at home in December, but it wasn't even a full weekend. So, and then I spent all of Christmas at my parents', my birthday at my parents', which was great because they live at the beach. So we've had a great time. And I also do just have to tell you a little bit about my birthday. I turned 26 at the beginning of January, and I never do anything for my birthday because my birthday is the day after New Year's, January 2nd, which is it's a wonderful birthday. I'm so thankful I was born on that day. But it's a really shitty time to try and hang out with your friends because everyone goes back to work. None of my friends live where I live anymore, so they're traveling back to their new home after being home in North Carolina for the holidays. And then also everyone's just like getting back into work mode after having been off for 1 to 2 weeks or whatever it is. So it's a really challenging time, and I always just kind of bypass my birthday. But I love to host. That is one thing I've realized about myself. I'd say probably the last year is I love hosting. I love having friends over. I love taking care of my friends and feeding them and getting flowers out and cleaning the house and just taking care of my people that I love. I've kind of learned that that's a little bit of my love language. I really wanted to just celebrate with whoever could come. And so I had some girlfriends over to my parents' house at the beach, and I had a little dinner party layout spread, the biggest, most beautiful charcuterie board I've ever seen. And I took a million pictures of it and haven't posted a single one yet. So coming soon on Court in the Kitchen if you're curious. But I had a vision, and I can fully say that the vision came to life. It was a beautiful tablescape. I had a teal turquoise tablecloth. I had disco balls. I had colorful candles. I had flowers. All the charcuterie from Trader Joe's, even the birthday invitation I made on Canva by myself, like hand designed it, and it was Trader Joe's inspired. We painted some canvas tote bags, which, guys, don't knock it until you try it. I was like, we need an activity. What if, because it was so cold that weekend. So we just would wake up, have our coffee, breakfast, go walk on the beach. We painted some tote bags. We ate a lot of food, just relaxed. It was the best time ever. And I had friends from lots of different phases of my life, which was fun and cool to see, like from high school, from college, from soccer, all sorts of stuff, from work. So it was a really fun time. And now back to talking about how I'm going to be home for the next month or so before I'm gone all of February. Whoops, shocker. But this weekend I am going to put all my Christmas decorations away. Yes, my Christmas tree is still up. It's still currently on. I don't care. It's beautiful. It makes me happy, but it's time to put it away. So that is what is happening this weekend. Okay. Continue with the report in case you forgot. This is what we were doing. Oh, obsession. Look at the most amazing Christmas birthday present I have probably ever received. If you're watching on camera, if not, sorry, go to my Instagram and watch. I am wearing a Phone Eats First official crew neck, and it is embroidered. My roommate, shout out Sarah Grace, got this for me. And Sarah Grace and I work together, so she is also in the retail merchandising world. She literally used one of our vendors, I guess you could call, like she does embroidery of our hats and stuff. So she used him to embroider my crew neck, and it's perfect. I was mind blown when she gave it to me. And thank you, Price, for the artwork. Collaboration at its finest. But yes, that is my obsession. And now our recipe. I made Tuscan chicken for my birthday weekend, and I forgot how good and also kind of how easy it is. But it has so much flavor. I'm not going to get the recipe right now because it's a million ingredients, but it's so, so good. Just look up any recipe. And also now that there's versions on TikTok, if TikTok's even still here when this episode comes out, we don't know. But there's recipes where you just throw it. You don't need a cast iron skillet. You can just throw it all in a baking sheet or a baking pan in the oven. Okay, and tea treat. I am currently sipping on a honey latte that I just made myself at home with my Nespresso that you can see behind me. She's blue. She's perfect. So it's a simple treat, but I love myself a honey latte. So that's my treat for the day. All right, that is the weekly report, monthly report, whatever we want to call it. That was kind of a long one. Now let's get into the episode. All right, before I hop right into my Q1 intentions, I kind of want to reflect on some notes from the end of the year / going into a new year. And I wrote them out on my phone, so pardon my eye contact. I'm just going to read off of it. But these are some thoughts that really just came to mind this past holiday and New Year's season. And I truly haven't really felt the way I did until this year. And I also kind of want to shout out just in general, like the content creator community, because I feel like a lot of people online were like, guys, you don't have to have your vision board and your New Year's intentions and everything set by midnight on December 31st. Like, you can use this time to enjoy yourself and relax. Like, that's okay. And it's kind of crazy that that was being said online, because I was also feeling that way and kind of realizing like, I don't need to set intentions right now. Like, here I am, it's past the middle of January and I'm just now recording this episode. There's no rules. We can do things when we want. I hope I enjoyed my Christmas break, and I really hope other people did too. And like, you don't feel like you have to work and cram and plan and prep and reflect and all the things. Like, you can relax and enjoy yourself and take a week, take 2 weeks, take a month, and then do all of the things you want to do. Or you can also never set your intentions, never make a vision board. I can confidently say I have never in my life made a vision board, and for 26 years old, and I'm doing okay. So you'll also be okay. But so the end of the year is such a weird time for everyone, whether you're splitting time between your families, working and cramming and just grinding it out for the end of the year when you feel like you shouldn't be, because a lot of people aren't working at the end of the year. Or you could be doing absolutely nothing at your parents' house with no siblings or no partner. Also me, really weird to get used to as an adult. Or you could be busy reflecting on 2024, planning for 2025, setting new healthy habits, your diet, your workout plan, everything for 2025. Or you can just be living your normal day-to-day life and you don't celebrate the holidays, or you're not with family, or you're just at home, you're just in your normal routine. But there's all of a sudden all of these societal pressures to end 2024 a certain way and also begin 2025 a certain way. So what happened to relaxing and just enjoying the holidays and being present with your family? If you aren't reflecting, meditating, exercising, vision boarding, planning, and setting New Year's resolutions, apparently you aren't doing anything right. So this year, like I mentioned earlier, was probably the first time I saw content about, hey, let's actually chill for a second and remove the pressure to do all of this stuff before January 1st. You can do it later or not at all. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't have a burning desire to make a vision board or write down a list of things that I learned through 2024 or hope to do through 2025, or I just don't need to do all of that in a very short window when there's a million other things going on. I like to do that, mid-January after my birthday, like after I celebrate and enjoy myself. And so all this being said, I think you guys get the point now. 2025 is here, and when you're listening to this episode, there's a good chance we're already close to done with month 1 of the year, or maybe you're way behind. It's already June. That's okay too. Personally, I enjoyed my 2-ish weeks of minimal working and celebrating Christmas and New Year's and my birthday with people in my life that I love and doing things that I love, aka sleeping, cooking, eating great food, lots of walks on the beach with Callie, working out with my family, and hosting my friends. And so now that I have rested, filled my cup, and had wholesome time, and I'm finally back in grind mode with work, with the podcast, with just being home, and it's the new year, I feel it's an appropriate time to set my New Year's intentions. Because if there's one thing I want you to take away from this podcast, is that you should be doing things on your own time and when it feels right for you, because we listen to our bodies around here, especially on Phone Eats First. So overall, again, an intention sets yourself up for setting aims, plans, goals, whereas a resolution is black and white. If you mess up, your resolution is done. So choose whichever word you like. Maybe you like the word resolution. That's fine. I'm not the boss around here. You are the boss in your own life. So go with what you want. This is just what I do. Now, all of that being said, I've probably said that 3 times now. Let's get into Corey's Q1 intentions for 2025. And I have these categorized into 7 different things. So we've got fitness, health, finances, fashion, work, life, and keep it up. So those are my subcategories. Also on the Notes app, you can do headings and colors and all sorts of fun stuff. So I had fun with that on the plane. Again, I do all of my best thinking and work on a plane. I literally mapped out this entire episode and was like, wow, where's my microphone? I want to do it right now. Anywho, okay. Q1 intention number 1, fitness. So 1A, whatever we want to call it. I need to incorporate more strength. I need to build more muscle and tone my body up. I've gotten a little soft. I'm not even going to lie. I've been doing a lot of yoga, and also it's been wintertime for a few weeks, months now, and I don't get as many steps in. I'm not as encouraged to wake up as early or work out after work because it's dark. No one is. It's cold. It sucks. No one likes to do that. Whereas in the spring and summer and even fall when there's daylight outside, I get home from work and I'm like, oh, I could go for a walk right now. I can do a Peloton. I'm just a lot more motivated. Whereas in the winter, I'm just not. And it's showing in my body, guys. So I need to work on incorporating more strength back into my routines. And also when I'm on the road, it's so easy to not work out because I'm just exhausted. I work really long days and I am getting a lot of steps in, but there's nothing like lifting weights, truly. So that is a very high on my list intention. That's why it's number 1. Okay, number 2 in the fitness category is more cardio. Believe it or not. In 2026, my mom and I and my brother and potentially more family members are going to run a marathon. You've heard it here first. Whether that's actually going to happen, we'll see. But we're shooting for Hawaii. I mean, why not? If I'm going to do a marathon, you better believe we're going somewhere cool. So I'm on a 0 out of 10 in terms of cardio fitness. I used to be at like a 10 out of 10 when I was playing soccer and running for 3 hours every day of my life, but that's just not the case anymore. And I don't really like running anymore, or I don't not like it. I just don't do it. I'm not good at it. It hurts my knees. Like I need to slowly get back into it. So I've got 2 years. We'll see. All right, 3 of the fitness is get back on the Peloton, which I've done 2 Peloton workouts this week after work, just 20 and 15 minutes because you know what? That's all I had time for. And I'm still doing yoga in the morning. So doing a really long workout after work isn't something I need to be doing right now. But this all ties in with the strength and just getting back into the swing of things and getting my body back where I want it. And I've mentioned this quite a few times, but I've been neglecting my Peloton ever since I've started doing yoga. So yeah, we're going to bring her. She's right here next to me. We're going to bring her back into the picture soon. And number 4 of my fitness is getting 10K steps a day. This isn't going to happen every day. It's probably not even going to happen every week, but I got a Garmin for Christmas. Love it. Absolutely love my Garmin. I get a lot more data. So, and I have my step count on the screen. So it's going to be a lot easier, I think, for me to just see where I'm at for the day. Okay, number 2 category of Q1 intentions is my health. So number 1 of this is getting as much sleep as possible. And speaking of my Garmin, I finally get a sleep score when I wake up in the morning, if I wear my watch, obviously. I've always been so jealous of my mom and dad who've had Fitbits and now Garmin's, and they have a sleep score, and they would text in our group chat literally every morning their sleep score. I would always joke my sleep score would kill theirs because I think I sleep so good. It's one of my best qualities. But now that I have this, and get a sleep score every night, I really don't I don't get that high of a sleep score because my body battery is so low all the time and I never catch up on sleep. And it's really crazy to see an actual scientific number tied to your body and your sleep and where you're at and where your energy is for the day and like how much you're exerting and how much you're recovering, because I'm a go person, if you didn't know that about me. And I don't stop very often. I don't nap. I don't relax. I don't rest. Those aren't in my vocabulary or things that I like to do, even when I know I need them. I do love my sleep though, and I take my sleep very serious, but that doesn't always mean that I get enough sleep, because I would still rather wake up early and go to the workout class unless I'm just truly exhausted. Like if I'm canceling my workout class, it's because I know I need sleep, which is still a good thing that I'm able to do that and know that about myself, obviously. But overall, I can see my levels to the minute of awake time, light sleep, deep sleep, and REM. And I don't get a lot of REM, which is the restorative sleep. So we're working on that. And even when I get in bed at like 8 or 9, sometimes, not all the time, that doesn't mean I'm going to bed in 30 minutes because I hate to say it, I'm a scroller in bed. It's bad. Maybe once TikTok gets banned, that will be good for me. But I scroll for a little bit, but then before you know it, it's been an hour. And then I'm like, well, I still want to read. So I just need to work on my bedtime and keeping it more sacred. Also in my health, number 2 of this is I want to have more, I just want to be more educated on macros and really learning, okay, this is a cup of ground beef. It equals these macros, or this is how much steak, salmon, sweet potato, whatever it is, like my staples that I eat every day. Like I should have a better idea of truly how much protein I'm eating and how many calories. I mean, not to like count calories, but like you should know this stuff about your body and what you're putting in your body. So I do, again, all of that takes time and also being home because you need to weigh the food. But I'm telling myself if I just do it for a little bit, it'll be very easy to kind of carry on and have an idea of like, oh, that's about this much meat or protein or whatever it is by looking at it. Okay, category 3 of my intentions is finances. Is 2025 the year that I make a budget? We'll see. The world will never know. But 1, I want to limit my impulse purchases, which I'm not a crazy spender. I'm really, really good about saving money and I'm stingy with my money, which is good. But I am also a pretty impulsive buyer. If I see a pair of shoes or a pair of clothing that I'm like, okay, I'll wear that all the time, but that doesn't mean I need to buy it. So just want to be more intentional about that. And then also I want to invest more. I talked about this on my, I think, 2024 recap episode, but I've started investing money. I've started making money. What a concept. So I want to keep that up. I do want to buy a house someday. So can't do that if you don't save money. Okay, number 4 category is fashion, which who thought I would ever mention the word fashion on this podcast? Not me. But an intention I have for this quarter and this year, I guess specifically this quarter just because it is cold, and for me it's easier to dress cute when it's a little bit chilly out because you can, wear jeans, and I love jackets. I'm a jacket girl through and through. But my intention is that I want to wear my cute clothes more often. I am 99% of the time wearing athleisure, leggings, tennis shoes, sweatshirt, hoodie, crew neck, sweatpants, whatever it is. And I love my athleisure. It holds a very special place in my heart. But I have a lot of cute clothes that I like too. And I'm not saying anything crazy, but just like my jeans and sweaters, I should wear them more. Because also, probably every single person listening to this wears semi-cute clothes or clothes that you like and feel good into work. I don't. I wear leggings and t-shirts and everything to work. Like I go to work not looking good. And I'm very thankful for that. But when I'm wearing a pair of jeans and cute shoes and a sweater or jacket or whatever it is, like I feel put together and I feel good. So why not do that more often? Okay, number 5 category is work. So number 1 of this, and this will probably forever and always be an intention of mine, but post more. I am always dealing with the feeling of the moment passes and I don't post whatever I was intending to post. I'm like, I post it now. AKA my birthday, where I have all these beautiful, amazing pictures and it's all great food content. And it's not like posting this content is going to change my life and get me 1 million followers and brand deals and all of that. But I'm like, this is the perfect opportunity to share more about my life. But I'm now like, okay, that was 2-3 weeks ago. Why post now? And this happens to me all the time. I take videos so often of recipes or just food or core in the kitchen related things, and then I do nothing with them and they just sit in my camera roll for months and months and then years and years, and here we are. So I've learned more. It's because I just really don't like social media, which is great that I'm not obsessed with it or anything. And I mean, that's coming from someone who has a food account that I feel very passionate about. So take that how you want it. But I do also love the power of social media, and I love my page, and I love sharing and connecting and just having a aesthetic, pretty page with my stuff that makes me happy. So I love it and I hate it. So I'm open to suggestions here of how to find a balance of keeping the brand Corey in the Kitchen alive and also Phone Eats First. And also, I don't want to post at 8 p.m. when I'm getting in bed. Again, that's affecting my sleep. This is a full circle here. But anyways, I do want to post more. Okay, enough of that. Number 2, podcast consistency. And here I am saying this after not posting for a week. I've missed this past Sunday, and I have an episode recorded, but I haven't edited it. I haven't edited it. I had this one mapped out, didn't have time to record. It's just an ongoing thing, and it does very heavily rely on my travel schedule, which is all the time. I'm never home. But that doesn't mean it can't be a goal of mine to be more consistent with the podcast. Another part of the podcast is I really, really, really want to get more guests on. I feel like I have phases of guests, which I try and plan and I reach out to people, but again, it just takes time. It takes coordinating, it takes planning, and I don't have a lot of time. So that's why it's a goal, an intention. And I have a really long list of guests. So I hope you have more guests to listen to on this podcast, because I do want it to be more educational. And that's something I've talked to my mom about a lot. She's like, you need more educational content. I'm like, oh, trust me, I'm aware. That requires work. But that's what a side hustle is work. That's why we're in the work category of intentions. Okay, number 3. And this is more about my like actual job, not the podcast or anything, but just continuing to find a work-life balance. So I want to continue to maximize my time in the office at my desk and delegate what I can, which I am a good delegator. I know that about myself, thankfully. And then when I'm at home, actually just be home, try not to think about work. And here I am this week. We've already started our summer internship hiring process, which I'm in charge of, and is the worst time at my job. Summer is awful because we have so many things to do and so many events, and it's just pure chaos, which I thrive under. I love it. Don't get it twisted, but it's a lot. So I want to be as proactive as I can now while I have the time, have the energy, have the mental capacity to just figure it out and prepare myself when we do get closer to summertime. All right, number 4, back to the podcast. Merchandise for Phone Eats First. Speak of the devil that I'm wearing, but I really want to make hats. I've said that 30,000 times by now. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Let me know if you want one. That'd be very helpful too, because if you want one, you can help hand create the hat that you will be wearing one day. Wouldn't that be cool? Follow on Phone Eats First Pod on Instagram and DM me or text me or whatever it is, and we'll make a hat together. All right, and number 5 of the work situation, now Corey in the Kitchen related, I really want to do a giveaway. And it's not going to be huge, but I have a few things in mind. So at some point in these next 3 months, look out for a Corey in the Kitchen giveaway. Okay, number 6 category of intentions is the life category. So 1, I want to do more and new creative crafts. So my painting of tote bags really inspired me. It was so much fun. And I've always loved painting because my mom is a painter. Not seriously, but just was always painting when I was growing up. So I got to be around paint and canvases and just creativity, which is something I'm very thankful for. And I liked it then, so I still like it now. But adults don't really have much time to paint unless you're Priceley Studio, and it's a side hustle that should be your full-time career. So yeah, I don't know. I really want to get back into painting, and I also really want to do pottery. I've always wanted to do pottery, so I just need to find a class and pay for it and do it because I think I'll really enjoy it. So just finding more time for creative things. And then I also, in my life category, want to increase quality time with loved ones, which I'm very good at planning and scheduling time with friends and talking on the phone to friends, but it is something I want to continue to be good at. So I really want to be intentional about it. And so for me, it works best to schedule dates and trips and dinner dates and all of that. So I need to just keep it up. All right, number 7, my last category of my intentions is just things I want to keep up, which I guess I could have put the quality time in here, but whatever. So 1, reading before bed specifically. I think 2024 is the most I've ever read in my entire life. So I hope I read even more in 2025. I love it. It helps me unwind and relax and just keep my brain going. It's great. Number 2, I want to keep up my early morning yoga. So far, so good. Number 3, minimal alcohol. Again, so far, so good. I barely drink anymore. And I don't feel the need to do dry January, or I am actually considering doing 75 hard again. But just in general, I don't have a alcohol-free lifestyle, which I feel this is relevant to say just because of my mom's episode that just came out. I really don't drink a lot. I'm not saying that because I think I'm better than others. Like, no, that's not what this is about. This is a personal choice. I don't like how I feel. Yes, I enjoy a buzz. I think a buzz is fun when you're out with friends, coworkers, in a new city, just like get to hang out with people. I am someone that benefits from alcohol in those settings because I get really, really tired really, really quickly. I'm not the most talkative person in the world. I'm just a more quiet person. Sometimes. In some settings I'm the loudest, and that's when you know there's a problem. But overall, a hangover is one of my biggest fears now, and I hate not feeling good. I hate anxiety. All of it messes with my sleep. That's another thing. I finally got to witness a sleep score after a night of drinking. I had 4 drinks. Like, again, I had a very light buzz. I think I still stopped drinking at like 11 or 11:30. So I wasn't drunk by any means. And my sleep score out of 100 was in the low 30s. And I still slept like over 7 hours. But that is the lowest sleep score I have had to date. I'm normally in like the 60s to 70s. Again, I haven't had a really good sleep score yet, but I was like, wow, alcohol really impacts your sleep. So it's just a reminder of why are we drinking? Why is this normal? So long rant later, but I want to keep my alcohol minimal. And I also want to continue to practice like when I'm out and about. I don't need to drink. I don't need to drink just because other people are drinking. So something to always just keep in mind for myself. And then last but not least, in my keep it up category, we've got eating whole foods. So like I mentioned in the weekly report, like beef, avocado, yogurt, fruit, berries, that's fruit, whatever, cheese, all of these like whole natural foods, avoiding added sugar, and just making healthy choices when I'm out at dinner and wherever I am. Just continuing to eat and choosing the things that I know will make me feel better, not just because I'm starving or waited too long to eat and I'm like, oh my God, I just want a burger and fries. But you can't have that every night. So just continuing to be intentional about the healthy choices that I'm making. Okay, so those are my Q1 intentions. And I do have 2 little inspiring words to leave you with. So shout out Giggly Squad. I've talked about them a lot now on this podcast, but I love Giggly Squad. It's by far one of my favorite podcasts now. And if you don't know, one of the podcast hosts, her name is Paige Sorbo. Her and her 3-year boyfriend, Craig, who they're Bravo people, which I don't watch Bravo, but I only know about them through the podcast. They broke up. And so there's actually a really motivating, inspiring podcast that Paige and Hannah released on Giggly Squad, just kind of talking about relationships, the breakup. And it was great. Like, it truly was a great episode. So here's 2 little tidbits that I heard from them and really just kind of stuck with me. If you don't know what the next 5 years of your life are going to look like or feel comfortable with what it's going to look like, and you just don't know what you're doing the right thing. Just because someone's married or has kids already doesn't mean they have it all figured out and know what's going on. It just means that they know some of the people that will be in their life for the next 5 or so or upcoming years. So let that sink in. No one here, I'm sure everyone listening to this episode, except for maybe like my mom, but even my mom's retiring. She probably doesn't know what the next 5 years have in store for her. But it's so easy to look at other people who, just because someone's married or has kids or they've bought a house or they just seem like they have it all together, it doesn't mean they have it all together. They just know maybe the location they're going to live in or the people that are going to play a role in their life. And I don't know, that was just very refreshing to hear and kind of a cool point of view to think of. Because especially for everyone in relationships, if someone's single, it's really easy to be like, oh, I don't know anything. And it's like, okay, just because someone's in a relationship doesn't mean they know everything. It's just like, oh, well, ideally this person's going to be here for the next foreseeable future. And then tidbit of information number 2 to leave you guys with it. And this one's pretty basic, but it's always a good reminder. Put good energy into the world and let it come back because the universe is so much more creative than you can imagine. Dun, dun, dun. Mic drop. All right. This was a long one, but it felt necessary. I feel good about it. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Phone Eats First. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, wonderful week. I hope your new year is off to a great start. And if you are choosing to set some intentions for yourself, I hope you're enjoying the process. It shouldn't feel like a chore. If it feels like a chore, don't do it. You don't need to do it. You're going to be okay. If you're making a vision board, I hope you're having the most fun time ever. I do think I want to do it at some point, but maybe next year. We'll see. But thank you again for listening. Please leave a rating and review. Follow at Phone Eats First Pod on Instagram, Corey_in the kitchen on Instagram, and what's my Phone Eats First Pod on YouTube. And you can listen to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Leave a rating and review, all the things. Show me some love. Share this podcast with your friends, family, coworkers, whoever. We will talk soon. You are listening to Phone Eats First.